Alright, well, starting from here on out, now that we have some good money and all that, we are going to be making attempts on Johannes every single video. At least just one attempt every video, just to see if we can. Lady Joanne, our barbarian queen, it is time. Let us, I don't really know if I want attack up as much as I want, like, armor up, yeah. Just be a bit bulkier. We got the throwing knives, which is, in my opinion, the best weapon to use against
Yeah, you
Jonas.
said something about that.
That's just because of the range, and also because of our, what's the name? We get to, have the platforms permanently open. Why you wish to fight me? How many sons and daughters have been lost in your pathetic attempts at revenge? It was the king who brought ruin to your country, not I. Lied to us, he said he was wounded, yet it was only time that threatened him. He pit his children against one another, sacrificed everything, satisfied his own selfish desires, and left us penniless and alone. So the only option left to me. I rejected king and country and chose a new family instead. Oh yeah, well, sorry, Jonas. I read that thinking it was gonna be different. I kind of thought it was like a Sans moment where the more you destroy... I don't have my killer, what's name enabled either, so I'm missing a double jump. However, I have beaten Jonas with only a dash, so... Ow. Oh. Did we even... Spoilers, there's second phase. Did we even get second phase?
No.
Yeah.
No, we died pretty early on.
Very unfortunate. Bro, I just wanted out of that corner, man. Come here, Jonas. Bro, please.
Man. You look like you're struggling.
We take so much damage, gonna be real here. We only have 10 hits we could take with the Barbarian King. Which, that's kinda sad, not gonna lie. Come here. Come here. Oh, this is a thing that happens with Johannes AI. Johannes is on the off screen. If I had daggers, I could just throw them and kill Johannes that way. That's literally the best thing that could happen to Johannes as a spell sword. Oh, we're gonna see second phase at least. Now we'll know what we're working towards. Well, maybe we might. Oh, we did. Oh, my god. It took all the gamer in me to do that. You think you have slain me? I've lived for over 1,000 years. I will live for 10,000 more. Alexander, Kadir, Ponce de Leon. I was not the first hero to reach the fountain. Yo, what about Herodotus? But I will be the last. Johannes, the fountain. Oh, spooky. Get the heals. Bro, imagine I actually beat Johannes, like, this session.
I know, right?
Would be wacky. Would be absolutely wacky. I do find the fountain easier than Johannes, just the fountain hurts like a truck, so...
I think it's because the fountain's not nearly as mobile as Johannes. The fountain's much slower.
Yo, not gonna lie, might legitimately beat Johannes and the fountain. Oh! Bro, if I do, this series is much shorter than I thought. Oh, nope, here it is. Here's the attack that I need double jump for if I want easier time. One more hit and I'm dead, so... I'm losing faith and hope.
So close.
My toe. I cursed as I died. Well, you did great. The useless, take that back. Joanne did great. Okay, let's see. You know,
Lady Bourgeois?
the Lich Queen has never let me down now at this point, but I think I'm just gonna go with, probably Assassin.
Careful, you got ADHD.
Yeah, it's all good. What was this? Curse rune. Nothing I care about. Alright, let's go make some money. We did our Jonas attempt. Again, we're probably not gonna be actually legitimately going for Jonas until we're level 120 at least. Once we get level 120, then that's when we'll up the amount of attempts we do per bid. For now,
Gotcha.
just one attempt at the beginning. Maybe I should do an attempt at the end, so that way I could actually get a video out of this. Because imagine I beat him in like the first. That fight in total only took me 4 minutes.
So yeah, if you ended up beating him, then, well, that would be that. That would be a really short video.
Bro, but, you know, it would be a good one. Bro, why do I want spike balls as an assassin? Chakram all the way. Alright, stab you. Oh, please, Corrupt Knight. Oh, remember, I don't have a double jump. Never stood a chance. Never should have come here. Alright. We were talking about indie horror last time, right? Now that we're no longer in bosses, continuing my rant of indie horror and why it's somewhat dying. I mean, it's obvious. Everyone says it's dying. I mean,
They say it's dying every so often, then a new game comes out that, like, promises a whole lot. They get excited, say that it's not dying, that we've entered a renaissance of indie horror, and
Yeah.
then the game sucks.
Yeah. Luckily, there have been some good games. Like I think My Friendly Neighbor is legitimately good.
My Friendly Neighbor?
You've never heard of it?
No.
Or it's My Friendly Neighbor or My Friendly Neighborhood. I forget if it's either or. It's essentially the best way I could describe it is kind of classic Resident Evil, but more like Resident Evil 7, first-person camera and all that.
Yeah.
But you're fighting puppets.
Okay, I might have heard of it.
Yeah, it's very interesting and very cool. Especially with how there's different endings depending on your choices and all that. Which that's always nice when a game has good replay value. I thought you were a chest, legitimately. I apologize deeply. It looks very interesting. Besides that, like, recently we have, again, been getting good horror games like Who's Lisa, My Friendly Neighborhood, and then, have you also heard of Amanda the Adventurer?
Yes, I have heard of it.
Yeah.
There's a sequel coming out.
Oh, the sequel already. Interesting. I don't know if it's a game I would personally ever play, but it is really interesting horror, though.
I mean, I've already seen a playthrough of it, so, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting concept, like, very unique, well handled. It doesn't feel super, like, forced, you know?
It seems like actually, you know, pretty decently done. The story actually makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, that's the main thing I hate with indie horror, is when it isn't just, I'm all for kids having horror games, but most kid horror games nowadays are trying to copy Five Nights at Freddy's, to where it's just filled with loads of lore, and it's like, come on now, you don't need just lore to make a game interesting. You need good
Give me the jump scares.
You need good gameplay, you know, some good scares, all that, you know.
Give me something to be terrified of, not something that's, you know...
Yeah, and that's the other thing I feel like most fail to do. They don't really capture the essence of, like, especially the OG Five Nights at Freddy's, to where you truly do feel helpless in that room, just sitting there. You're not able to move, not able to escape from all of this, but there you are. Can you move? Quit doing your ranged... I can't stand this, man. You over here. You die tonight. You know, it feels most horror for kids games now, it feels very forced. Like, Poppy's Playtime is very interesting and cool, but the story just feels very forced and is being made very convoluted just because horror for kids.
Just because of FNAF.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is FNAF. Everything's now gotta have a super complex story, because FNAF did it. Though,
Yeah.
in my opinion, FNAF's story was constantly writing itself into a corner
Yeah.
and desperately trying to get out.
Now, did Scott Cawthon potentially plan it all out? Maybe, but, you know.
Maybe.
Let's be real here. You know, homie threw some darts at a board every now and then to figure out what to do next.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think he planned it out.
Uh,
Because after his previous game didn't do very well, FNAF was basically just his last ditch.
yeah, it was just a Hail Mary.
I don't think he was expecting it to do as well as it did.
Ow.
So,
Now, if we're going to talk about a true game that's not a lot of people are a fan of, Bendy and the Ink Machine.
yeah, I was kind of hoping that would do well, but
Nice. Shrew?
Sir Shrew.
Bro, what in the world? Yeah, Bendy and the Ink Machine was... It was a game I actually was like, oh, that'll be so cool. Like, I love the style of, like, old cartoons a lot. So, Bendy was very interesting to me.
Man, are we missing a class?
Yeah, we are. I forget how to unlock that class, honestly. Maybe I'll look it up before next part, and maybe that'll be a goal before we beat Jonas. We'll see. But yeah, Bendy and the Ink Machine, it not only was stuck in development hell forever, but if we're gonna be real here, it didn't have much to offer, especially if you played the game, like, chapter by chapter as it was released. The first chapter you could probably finish in, like, 30 minutes, maybe less, and it's like, that's not a lot. Also, bad big business practices. One, the company laying off so many employees right before the holidays, like, come on now. That's a bit messed up, and by a bit, very messed up.
What?
I forget what it's called. I think it's Andrew Joe Company or whatever it's called now. The Bendy Company. They laid off a bunch of employees right before the holidays.
Ah,
No, if I'm correct, no compensation, no nothing, just laid off.
okay, so typical scummy groups.
Yeah, you know what was really tragic though?
What?
The coffee machine died. I remember that was a huge scandal to where they literally laid off the company, well, laid off half the company, but then made it a big sad scene when their coffee machine that served them faithfully for who knows how many years died, and it's like, bro.
But you just laid off a bunch of people. That you're gonna try and like make a joke?
Who cares about the coffee machine? Like, come on now. It's
As somebody who doesn't drink coffee at all, well, very often, if any,
yeah.
I don't think that you're missing out on much. Heck, how much more expensive is it to have a coffee machine than just go get coffee?
Well, if you ever make anything yourself, it's usually cheaper. Unless you're bad at making it, then usually...
Or unless you're buying the name brand stuff, like
Yeah.
Starbucks, you know, coffee cups. You may as well just go get Starbucks for the day.
Yeah. It also, again, depends. If you're not good at making stuff and you make, like, a bad batch, like, with food, for example, you make a bad batch of something, well, now that's just not only wasted food,
Yeah.
but that's wasted money, you know? When you could have just had a professional, aka a worker, do it for you.
Oh, okay. I know how you unlock it. You have to scroll up. It's hidden out of view.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you remember how much does it say how much it's worth? Like the money?
Um,
And also, is this the first game or second game you're looking at?
this is the first game.
No, I'm a gambling man. Well, YOLO, right? 25% of my current gold. Triple what you paid. Others who are empty. Give it a shot? Yeah. Stupid. So stupid. I hate you. Stupid elf. That man gives elves a bad rep. Okay, ow. Alright, stab you in a bit, card box. grab you. Alright, hello fairy chest, another room.
Let's see. It doesn't.
Easter.
I haven't found anything.
Do I have to own everything
No, you just have to. You just have to scroll up.
on the mansion menu?
Yeah.
Okay. I might have found... Honestly, I never used a guide for this game until it came to the hidden class. So... I legitimately must have just had like an ADHD moment when I found it. Alright,
Yeah. Indie horror. It's games themselves are questionable in terms of content because a lot of time, again, with FNAF's success, okay, I'm not gonna say that FNAF was like low effort or anything. Obviously, there's a lot of effort put into it. Granted, yeah, it does look a bit low quality,
no, but,
but
you know,
that's kind of the point.
I was gonna
of
say,
it, you
Scott
know?
Cawthon's working with what Homie had.
Yeah, and it's just him working.
And now the Steel Wool stuff, aka the people who now make the FNAF games, Security Breach,
Sucked.
yeah, I wish it did good. Luckily, Five Nights at Freddy's is too big of a series to let that kill it.
Oh yeah, they'll just come out with another game. It'll be a classic FNAF,
Yeah.
and they'll never touch the open world type deal ever again.
Which is a shame, because it could have worked.
I think it would have been better as a multiplayer game.
Nah, I think it could have worked still by itself. The big thing is, luckily, Ruin, the DLC for Security Breach, did kind of save it, because I heard the DLC is good. I wouldn't know. I never played it, but you know, I heard it is good. So there is hope in that, you know. Get out of my way, Infernite. Oh. Five Nights at Freddy's in general, like, was very great for the horror scene, because again, it blew it up again, which is, thank God, we needed more unique takes on horror games, because, I'm not saying these two games killed the horror scene, but it definitely shaped AAA horror. Dead Space and Resident Evil 4. They shaped the horror scene into something new. It went from very scary games like Silent Hill, where you had to manage your resources so much, and their death could literally be around any corner, and it was very spooky. Or, you know, classic Resident Evil, where managing resources was everything. It meant life or death, and
Such as the limited amount of saves you have.
yeah, that I don't miss. My friendly neighbor does that, but it does give a good amount of saves, so I don't hate it too much.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, there's one thing already, I mean, maybe it's good, but already that gives a bad taste to me. That's something I just wouldn't play, because
Yeah.
there's a such thing as paying homage to a old classic game. Then there's just, really, why would you add this? This is dumb, nobody liked it.
I just hate games that have save points for the most part, unless it is like Resident Evil or a horror game. I understand save points, so you can't, you know, save scum certain things, but man, sometimes it's like I gotta save and go, you know. I gotta put the game down. I don't want to have to go all the way to a save room to put the game down. Anyways, as I was saying though, before this, the horror scene definitely changed with Dead Space and Resident Evil 4 around, because horror shooters were all the rage now. No one wanted classic horror. That stuff was for nerds. So that's what we got for years and years and still years. But at least some horror shooters are better than the others. Like, there's nothing.
Oh wow, you're really naming them there.
I don't. You think I want to name some that are better than the others, or like it's in my opinion worse than the others? Bro, it is there. You never say your opinions. I will say some of them that did the horror shooter genre a bit better, but I don't really classify them as horror games as much as just more of action shooters.
Yeah.
I will say something like Last of Us, that's took the horror shooter scene, made it better. The Resident Evil remakes are actually really good horror shooters. Uh, the Callisto Protocol is another good example. They're like Dead Space and Resident Evil 4, but they have a more, I guess because the graphics one aren't as cheesy anymore, they actually feel more horrifying.
Yeah.
So it has a more of an impact because the atmosphere actually matters. Ranger Cape.
I think my other issue, as I said, like with FNAF, where like the game obviously isn't like, you know, super AAA quality in terms of production, but still great quality. I mean, AAA production quality is debatable these days, but
Yeah.
what I meant was like when you see all the classic PlayStation horror, it's where it's like it's very obviously trying to emulate like, you know, Resident Evil graphics, to where it just looks bad, and they do it on purpose. Which, you know, do whatever you want, it's your game, but personally, it just feels kind of cheap.
I know what the horror games are talked about, but the difference between those and most other games like that is,
Hello, right?
yeah, YOLO, all the way. Difference between those games and other horror games is, oh god, stay back, stay back, stay back, is the horror actually is really well done in those types of games. Okay, we made it through. Okay, we didn't make it through fully yet. But yeah, the horror is really well done in those types of games. So that's why I'll give those more of an excuse, because
Fair enough.
they are terrifying games.
Well, trust me, they are.
I say as they didn't terrify me, but I know people who have been terrified by them. Like, horror just doesn't do it for me. I like horror, I just don't get scared by it, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
It don't do it for me. If I'm gonna get terrified by anything, it's this plant monster who can very well end my good run in a game. That's more terrifying to me. Oh,
Oh
god.
man, navigating a maze.
Yeah, my favorites. Ah man, that maze was hard. It's so challenging and difficult. Whatever will I do? Where would I have gone? I'm dead. Oh, never mind, I'm not dead. I'm out. They're PlayStation D-Make games, by the way.
Yeah.
That is what they are. D-Make horror games, which, you know, again, a really cool concept, especially when they're done right, which a lot of them usually are. Oh god. Oh no.
Wow. Poor Lady Hiroko.